everyone, it's Christina, and I'm going to show you how I make these folders here. So that's the left side of it, and there's a pocket, and that's the other side, the right side, with a double pocket. And that's for the smaller notebook. That's the 4.5 by 8.25. This is a larger one, so this is 8.25 by 5 inches. I prefer these notebooks. There's just more space to work on. And here is another one, and then the other side. So I'm going to do first for the larger one, the 5-inch one. Look at all my notebooks. Yes, I'm having so much fun doing this. I'm going to make some and I'm selling them. So I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know where I'm going to sell them. I think I'm just going to start on YouTube and Instagram, and if I don't sell them that way, then I'm just going to put them on my Etsy, which don't go there because there's nothing there. Okay, you're going to start with a 12 by 12 piece of paper, and I am going to score at 4.5. I think I'll score on the other side. So 4.5. And then we're going to score at, I forget, so I have to take this one out. Oh yeah, 9 inches. Okay, so score at 4.5, score at 9. All right, take your paper, turn it once, and we're going to score the length of the book. And each book is always the same, so it's 8.25. All right, I'm just going to fold all my score marks. Okay, so kind of like when it's all finished, this piece will be folded this way. The bottom piece will go up, and this piece will come over. All right, so I'll see here how there's a slant. Now you can use your paper cutter to cut that, or you can just use a pair of scissors and cut it yourself. That's kind of how I usually do it with the scissors, but I will grab my paper cutter and I'll show you what I mean. So I take this corner right here, and this is where my groove is on the paper cutter, so I'll just sort of line that up, and then here I decide, do I want a really deep, like a far down slant or a little slant, so you decide. So I'm going to take it and probably about so much, and I kind of make sure where my score line is lined up with the groove, and away I go. See? And then you can use your corner punch. And kind of, see, that doesn't fit in there. So I just use my scissors, my handy dandy scissors, and make my own, if you want it round. And I'll just round it out myself with a pair of scissors. And I have to tell you, what I'm showing you it's a tutorial that I found online, but it's in another language. I think it's in maybe Italian. So I can't understand what she's saying, but her directions, I understand what she's doing. So this is exactly what she did. Okay, now this flap right here, we're going to make that now. So that's going to be this piece. So we need to get rid of this, but not all of it. So I'm going to take this piece right here, that corner piece, I'm putting it in here. I'm putting it in the scoreboard, and I'm going to score it at Let's see, not at 2.5, 2.5, and then 1. And I'm going to score it right up to that, this line right here. So that was the 8 1/4 score line. That's where I'm going to score. Then I'm going to take a pencil. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So all of this area here, I'm going to cut that out. And then that little area right there, that little score line, I'm going to cut it. Fold that in. I'm going to put a piece of score tape right there, or ATG tape, or no, not that right there, right here. And then fold it up and glue it down, or tape it down. But before I do that, I want to get rid of this piece right here. So I'm going to turn it around again and put it in my scoreboard with this flap up. And I want to score, this is my guide right here. So if I took a ruler, that's where I'm going to score. So I'm going to score it on the 3-inch. So now I am going to cut out all of that. So now, see, creating my second pocket here, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut it and round it out with a pair of scissors. All right, so I'm going to put some tape here now. All right, 2 pockets created. Now for this side, you can actually cut this piece right off if you wanted to and have nothing there. But I like the left-hand side pocket. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to also cut that on a slant, like right here. See, I cut a little bit there and rounded the corner. So I don't know, I'm just going to eyeball it, so maybe about so much, just like that. And then I think I can stick my corner punch in there, and I don't have to do it myself. There. And then I'm going to put some tape right there. And sometimes I go over a little bit, so I'm just going to grab my scissors and trim it a little bit. And there we go. Isn't that cool? I love it. So I am making a new insert, and that one is going in here. And for the smaller book, if you like the smaller books, then what you need to do is exactly the same thing, but make it fit. But you just need to score a little bit less. Right, so, and if, you know what, you can always use your book as your guide. So we're going to score right, I'm going to score at 4 inches. Okay, I just want to stop here for a second. When you're making if you're making this, let's just say you're making it, and you've already made, this is the cover to your notebook. Now, if you make this insert bigger than your cover, then it's gonna stick out a little bit. Now, some people are really fussy and don't like that. Actually, I like it. You can kind of see a little bit of paint hanging out there. So all you have to do is just take your cover and lay it down, and then you would find your score line. And any score line that's not past this is going to work. It's not going to hang over. Do you get what I'm saying? So I am making this insert for this notebook, and I made this notebook a little not as wide as this one. So if I lay this notebook down, this insert is just inside, so that's nice. All right, so that's my first score at 4 inches. You could also score at 4.5 if your cover is a little bit bigger. So now I'm going to do my second score. And actually, I'm going to use the paper as my guide. I'm going to fold this over, and then I can see where I want to score. If I score at the 8, it'll be a little bit over, so I'm going to score 1 notch in from the 8. Turn my paper over and score at 8 1/4. I'm just going to fold my score lines. Now this piece here is too big, so I'm just going to cut a little bit off depending how big I want my pockets. So I think I'm just going to grab my paper cutter and snip off maybe, let's see. I probably want my pockets, so I think I'll just cut that much off. Okay, I'm just going to press down on those folds. And then I'm going to cut a slant here. Last time I cut the slant with my paper cutter. This time I'm just going to use my scissors. I'm going to round the corner by eyeballing it. All right, so we're going to cut some of this off. So now we're going to score inside here. So probably 1, 2, 3, right up to this score line. I'm going to stop there. All of this I'm going to cut away. Cut a little bit right up to that score line. That's where my tape is going to go. But first, I want to cut this section out here, this piece out there. So I'm going to turn this around. Make sure this flap is up. Put this down because this is your guide here. I'm just going to grab my ruler. And that's where I'm going to score, or somewhere close to it. That's good right there. So I'm going to score right up to that score line there. And this I'm going to cut away. I'm going to round the corner a little bit. And add some tape here. And then again here, I like to have it slanted a little bit, so I'm going to just cut it off a little bit right to the corner. And I'm going to add around the corner a little bit, sort of shove that in there. Yay! And then add some tape. And there, that's it. All right, now I can put it wherever you choose to put it in your book. I think I'm just going to stick it right in the beginning. And that's it. Well, you still have to staple it, but there. See? So this is for the smaller book and the bigger one. See how easy that is? So I was going to show you the how this looks when you have your notebook all full of photos. This was my December daily, and here is that pocket, and I just you know, I decorated a little bit. I added some photos back here. I mean, you can put stuff in that pocket as well. And don't you love them? I totally love them. There's tons of tutorials out there on YouTube how to do this. I just watched one. I loved it. It worked for me, except it's in Italian, I think. But yeah. All right, everyone. Next video up, I can hardly wait to show you a sneak peek of my new notebook and all my inserts. So excited. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.